All right. So yesterday we talked about problem solving in general. All right, so let's create a new folder. I'm gonna go here and say new folder. I'm gonna call this one week 2 Friday, and inside here we're gonna have a new file which is going to be tuples.py. So we're going to play with tuples. We're going to learn how to manipulate tuples, essentially construct tuples of things. The first thing that I would like to solve is, you have already seen last time a tuple of tuples, right? So the subsets, right, the set of subsets, the power set as it is called, right, is a set of sets, right? And we represented it as a tuple of tuples. Yes? We're going to encounter tuple of tuples, tuples of tuples, lists of lists, list of tuples, tuples of lists, and so on, many, many, many times, right? And there are certain operations that we want to be able to do very seamlessly, all right? One is flattening a tuple, right? So first thing that I want to solve today is flatten. And we're going to take a tuple, which is a tuple of tuples. Yeah. And we're going to flatten that tuple, meaning that we're going to concatenate all the tuples inside the big tuple. Yeah. So for instance, if I have something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? What I want to do with this procedure is to convert it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if I could type commas would be even better. Yeah. So how do we do that? This is, let's make it into a comment, and let's put it at the top. So we're going to, start with a variable called result, R, and we initialize it with the empty tuple. Yeah. And then we're going to say for each subtuple S in T, R is converted into R to which we add S. All right. So have we introduced this this operator? No, huh? Let's introduce it very quickly. So I'm going to move to the new folder that we have just created, and you can see the tuples.py here, but we're not looking at that yet. And we're going to go into the interactive mode. I'm going to define a variable to have the value 10, let's say, and I'm going to say a plus equals 20, and a now has value 30, right? So it takes the current value of a, adds something to it, and returns the result. Similarly, if b is a tuple, all right, and we do b plus equals 7, let's say, right, the value of b is going to be the concatenation of the two tuples, right? So we are extending the value of a by something, right? If the type that we operate on, like here the type is integer, right? Here the type is tuple. If the type that we operate on has a minus, then minus equals will do something similar, right? If I say a minus equals 15, right, a will drop down to 15, right? So from the previous value of 30, we go down to 15. However, minus equals will not make sense for a tuple. So if I say by b minus equals 2, 3, let's say, right? The minus operator is not available for tuples, therefore neither is minus equals. Cool. So what we're doing here is we are accumulating every single tuple that appears in this tuple of tuples. I did something wrong, I think. Yeah. And at the end, all we are left with doing is to return the result R. Yeah. So let's verify that this procedure works correctly. Print the flattening of, and let's take exactly the result that we have, or the example that we had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And let me teach you how we can save some typing. So I'm going to say sample equals this value, and then we're going to say sample, and we're going to say flatten sample. Okay, so let's run this quickly. I'm going to exit from here, and I'm going to say Python 3 tuples, and I should have, so this is the result, yeah, which is what we expect. I forgot to say the word is here. This would have been good. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing is, what if this, for instance, contains the empty, right, the empty tuple inside here? What do you think will happen? Well, the empty tuple acts as this 0 element, so it simply doesn't appear. Yeah. Does this make sense? We're going to have to use the tuple, the flattening soon, so we'll see how in a minute. The next operation that I would like to introduce, I was promising you last time, is permutations, right? So what is a permutation? Well, if I have the tuple of 1 and 2, right, the permutations of 1 and 2 are 1 and 2 and 2 and 1, right? And I'm going to give you the desired result here, right? What I'm going to want to return is this tuple of tuples, yes? The set of all the permutations of 1 and 2. If I have 1 and 3, 1, 2, and 3, sorry, then the permutations are going to be 1, 2, 3. So the tuple itself is one of the permutations. 2, 1, 3. 1, 3, 2. Sorry, 3, 2. 3, 1. 2, 3, 1. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So these are all of them. In general, how many permutations do we have? For a tuple of n items, how many permutations of that items do we have? Well, think of that. Well, or you can Google. Give me the answer a bit later. How do we produce this result? Well, if you look, what's the connection between this and this? Very similar to what happened last night with the sets. So this guy, this doesn't have 3. All right, let me put them in a different order. Let me put them in a different order. Let me put. Three, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Then 3, 2, 1. Two, 3, 1. So this is the order. Maybe now it's a bit more apparent.
So what's happening is you're just inserting 3 into.
Yes, very good. Very good, right? So I take 1, 2, and then I insert 3 before 1, I insert 3 in between, I insert 3 at the end, right? So I insert the 3 in every single position. So I get these 3 elements. Then I move on to this guy, and I insert 3 at each position, right? So I insert 3 at the 0th position, at the 1st position, and at the 2nd position. Yes? Very good. All right? So if I have t equals to, so let's make this into comments. So if I have t equals to 1, 2, 2, 1, how do I produce this guy?
You can create a loop that loops through.
No loop. No loop. Okay, so you might be tempted to do the following. Tuple. All right. And I'm going to have another tuple. All right. And I'm going to have an element, the following. Right. So this is going to be for every. For each element in T, yeah? So now E is a tuple, yeah? So E has a length, and I want to insert at every point inside E. So I'm going to say for I in range 0 to len of E plus 1. Right? So this I is in the range. So what do I put here? Well, I want an insertion. How do I create an insertion? Well, I break down the element and I put the new element inside, yeah? So the new element is just 3. So I want to emphasize something very important, right? So I'm going to say E from 0 to I plus 3 as a tuple, yeah, plus E from I till the end. Yeah, and I don't need 0 here. So this is it. And let's evaluate this. I'm going to take this Control-C, and I'm going to go here in Python 3, and I'm just going to Control-V it, and see what we get. We're very close, yeah? So what's missing? Or what do we have that is extra? We have an extra level of brackets, right? What removes brackets? So this middle level of brackets, one here and one here, as well as here, and this middle bracket here, they're unnecessary. What removes those brackets? Flatten. Very good. Yeah? So if I take flatten and add it in, right? And now I will say now I get exactly what I want. Yes? Is this clear how it works? So let's recap, right? I have to insert the 3 at the 0th position. So if I have this I is initially 0, right? So when I is 0, this is the empty tuple. Yeah? Then I have 3, and when I is 0, this is the full tuple. So essentially I produce this element. The first element is 3. Remember, this is the empty tuple. So the first element is 3, and this is the full tuple 1, 2. The full tuple 1, 2. Yes? So let's start from E, right? So this E, first value for E is going to be 1, 2. Yeah? Now this I is going to be 0 initially, right? So the first value produces 3, 1, 2.
Can you say it again?
So the first value of E is going to be 1, 2. Right? 1, 2 from here. This is T, yeah? So if this E is 1, 2, E, the first value of I is 0, right? E up to 0 is the empty tuple, right? So the first guy is going to be 3, and then E from 0 is the full tuple, 1, 2. So you have just produced this guy, yeah? Next, I is 1. So this is going to be just the value 1. So we're still, E is still 1, 2, right? So E up to 1 is going to be the tuple 1, right? Plus 3. E from 1 is going to be just the tuple 2, right? So we have produced this guy. Next, I is going to be from this range is going to be 2. Yes, the range is from 0 to 3. Sorry, to 4. No, so to 3. Len of E is this guy. Len of E is 2. So this value is 3. So the range is from 0 to 3. Remember, left is inclusive, right is exclusive, right? So actually in the range we have only the values 0, 1, 2. So the last value of I is 2. E from 0 to 2 is the full tuple, plus 3, plus E from 2, which is empty. There's nothing left after 2. Yeah. So we produce this guy. 1, 2, the full tuple, plus 3, we produce this guy. Now notice that we have finished this tuple. So as we are computing this, exactly this expression, we have produced a tuple here. Yeah. Which we don't want. This is why flatten comes in handy later. But for the time being, we don't have a way to get rid of it as part of this computation. So we're going to deal with it later. Yeah. Now, E moves on to the next value in t, which is to 1, right? And then I will start again from 0. So we're going through the same process, and we're producing these 3 values, but we're producing them as a tuple. So then there's another tuple here. So finally, if I add a flatten, then these extra brackets are removed, and we get our result. Yeah. Now we want to do this generically. So when we do this generically, this cannot be 3 anymore, right? So let's do the permutations. I'm going to say def. And we're going to have a t here. And the permutations of the empty tuple is the tuple containing the empty tuple, yeah? So remember that. It's the same as with subsets. The subsets of the empty set is the set containing the empty subset. So we, if len t is 0, return t. Okay. Sorry, with a comma. All right. Otherwise, we're going to take this guy. But what's going to be t now? I don't have t anymore, right? Because t was 1, 2, but now my t is 1, 2, 3. So t here is actually up to, but excluding, sorry, what am I doing? My keyboard seems to be not listening to me anymore. Seriously? I seem to have lost control of the... Very strange. I'm going to stop the sharing. See whether that helps in any way. No. I'm going to stop the recording.